Yo guys, and it's Disabled Angler here, and yeah, so this is a video is on about where I, talk you through what my illness is and how I got into it. So basically, to start off with, I was adopted around probably around 3 to 6 months old, something around there. I can't remember roughly, but it was around that time, and basically, my parents basically said when I was younger, I wouldn't stop crying for some odd reason. Like I was crying like I was in pain. Um, like I'd keep them away most nights because of it. So over time, they just eventually then they took me to see doctors. He was wrong, and um, first of all, obviously because I have something called sarcoidosis, which is like a rash of my skin, and basically doctors first thought that I had meningitis or some other like rash illness. I can't remember what they fully said, but um yeah, they thought I had meningitis and stuff like that. So they did tests. Obviously came back it wasn't meningitis. The doctors didn't really have a clue what I had. Um, but roughly, I think I remember my parents telling me that I think one day a doctor came round. I think it was either when I was in hospital or nothing, and he spotted what I had straight away because he'd been over in Africa at the time, and I think a lot of like African Caribbean children, um, I think it's common over there with my illness. So he found out straight away. Um, So yeah, basically he found out that I had something called obviously sarcoidosis. I got rheumatoid arthritis, which affects the whole of my body, like all my joints, everything. And um, so yeah, that was that. That was basically that part. Also, found out I have stomach problems, what else? Eye problems, uveitis, glaucoma, all of that. So basically, then I was like a doctor hotspot then because my illness is so rare. So I was, God knows how many doctors I had around me at one point, but obviously because I'm so rare, they obviously, the rare case, I mean, which turns out now the full of what I've got is called Blau's disease or Blau's syndrome. But I only found that recently out, probably about a year or so ago. Like my probably year, maybe 2 years ago, I found out what it was fully called. But yeah, so basically I have to had that since I was probably now I think diagnosed. Probably it was very young. I can't remember roughly when I was fully diagnosed, but it was very young, and I had to had to go in then for transfusions, like infusions. In I was on something. What was it? I think they put me on methotrexate. Methotrexate. I think that's how you pronounce it at first. But I had a bad reaction to that. I wasn't like well or anything with it, so eventually they ended up taking me off that, and now I have an infusion called infliximab, which basically keeps me going for. I have to have it every 4 weeks, so basically it keeps me going. Obviously, it just keeps my strength up, and all that jazz. But yeah, so I had all that done, all the tests, what you can think of really, and basically after I started having infusions, I started feeling like obviously better than it was. I can't remember what age I started having them but yeah. So as I got older, obviously, with the medicines, I have to take about five tablets each twice a day. If I can remember the names, prednisolone, mycophenolate, buscopan, ranitidine, and there's another one which I can't remember the name of. And obviously, I take paracetamol, ibuprofen, and stuff, like, obviously when I need it, and when obviously just when I need. So I had that. Had that all to deal with, and eventually then, as I got older, well, actually backtrack a bit. When I was younger, I had problems with my stomach, which they were going to operate to take a part of my bowel out, but for some odd reason, or some miracle really, when I went in to get my scan, as they do before the operation, the doctor obviously looked, and just everything turned out fine. Like, there was, like, strangely nothing was wrong with my bowel or anything like that. Everything was running through clearly and stuff, and I didn't have to end up having that operation, which was thinking amazing, to be honest. But so I've had a lot of things go wrong. Then as I got older, then I started having the worst problems with my eyes then, which really basically I lost the sight in my left eye twice because of built up pressure in my head, which caused my eye to basically just black out. And the first time it happened, honestly, it was the headache was not like, I wouldn't wish that headache on anyone, to be honest. Though it was horrible. It was not nice. I got rushed into hospital. They had to relieve the pressure. I had to have an injection into my eye. I'm sorry if you find that a bit grim, but I had to have it right into my eye. But I was in that much pain that I didn't even feel the needle go into my eye, which I'm kind of glad to be honest, because that's just not nice. It's grim. But yeah, the pressure was so bad. I was being sick. It was everything. But after they done that, they released the pressure from my eye, and eventually my sight did come back. But maybe a couple of months later, maybe 4 or 5 months later, it happened again. And same thing happened. I had to go in, relieve the pressure and stuff. And I think then the doctors took it a bit more seriously. So I've had laser eye surgery now, which is because I've had problems draining the fluid. So I've had laser eye surgery in my eye, which now, I've had like a couple of little holes, which now leaves room for fluid to drain through clearly and stuff like that. So I haven't had any problems with my eyes since. I am kind of not half blind, but there's blurriness there now for like constant. I'm gonna have that for the rest of my life, which sucks. Like, I'm not too good, like, if I'm walking in the dark, I'm not too good, because obviously with his eye being blurry, it's kind of hard to see sometimes. But the after effects of this, I get constant headaches, probably, I wouldn't say every day, but they come regularly, which I take my Brufen to get rid of them, and usually they get rid of them in the first like half an hour. But I take that constantly. But anyway, so as you can see, like, I've the stuff I've been through, I wouldn't wish on anyone, to be honest. But that's the way life goes, isn't it? It's half the time. But but everyone, my family, the doctors, they've all been brilliant with me. It's just like, unfortunately, that's just you know, what a lot of people have to live with, these sort of illnesses and stuff, and, you know, it's just the way it goes. So I'm so anyway, let's get back to another part. So basically, how I got into fishing. So we lived up in the Swansea Valleys, a little town called Ustriganlois, and basically, my dad was like a big fisherman, like, and I got into that from him basically, and he used to take me up the river all the time. We used to go trout fishing, you know, up in the rivers, up in the Brecon Beacons, and it was good fun. Like, it was really good fun, like doing that for, like, you know, I don't think I caught much when I was younger. Obviously, I was a novice, but I didn't really know much. But I had that, so that's what really got me started into fishing. And then we started coming on holidays down here into Pembrokeshire when I was young. We used to have a little, like, tourer van, like a little tourer camper, like a little caravan, you know, just tow back, and we used to come down and stay the weekends, like every like week or 2 weeks. And yeah, it was really nice down here. We got to love the place, and we eventually then, well, about 15 years ago now, we moved down. Me and my mum, my brother, my late brother now is passed, but and my two sisters, which well, my two sisters at the time, we all moved down here, and basically the rest of my family basically followed them. But anyway, back to this story of how I got into fishing. So we moved over. We had a caravan over in Lidstep, which we used to basically stay in permanently. And it's just, you know, we owned, like, my dad had a boat back then. I used to, and then, because, well, I didn't know much about sea fishing around that time, but my dad's done obviously a bit of sea fishing here and there, even when he used to live up there. So I learned really off my dad, and I just enjoyed, like, as soon as we got a boat, I enjoyed being out on the ocean. I enjoyed, you know, just putting a rod over and catching, you know, even if it's just mackerel or anything. It was good fun. And me, my dad, and my brother used to always go out. We used to catch, like, numerous fish on the boat. Like, you know, as you know, if you're a fisherman, it's good fun on a boat. So we lived in Lidstep for probably about 11 years, I think. I think it was about 11 years we've lived in Lidstep, and then we had to sell up then, and unfortunately had to get rid of the boat because we had nowhere to put it. And that's then we moved over to Saundersfoot, I think, then. And unfortunately that's when my brother became, as I just said, well, ill. He had kidney problems. He was on dialysis, and unfortunately, septicemia got to him, and he passed away. From that. And unfortunately, then my dad's alright, but he was taken ill then with kidney problems. So, unfortunately, my dad can't really go fishing anymore. Which is, you know, to me, that's, you know, 'cause I used to do everything. I used to fish every time with my dad and my brother, but my dad just can't do it anymore. And it's just, you know, feel like you lost something when something like that happens, you know. But so after that happened, I didn't actually fish for a while, like, because it didn't feel right. But eventually I got back into fishing. I got back into fishing. You know, I do a lot of obviously beach fishing now because I don't have a boat anymore. I go out on boats numerous times, maybe like the odd char or mackerel boat, like, you know, in the summer or something like that. Like, we'll all go out on a boat now and then, but I'd love to obviously have a boat again one day, but whenever that day comes, it comes. Um, but yeah, I really, to be honest, fishing has, you know, helped me a lot mentally and physically. It's helped me gain strength, obviously. It's helped me build muscle up, obviously, because there's a lot of, like, you know, when you're carrying rods and stuff, and you're walking to, like, you're walking someplace. Obviously, I can't walk far. I can't, like, that's why you see me mostly fishing off a pier or a wall or just a beach, you know. I can't be trekking. I can't walk over to, like, rock marks and stuff like that. I can't climb down to these rock marks, which unfortunately I can't stand, because I'd love to go to these rock marks, but unfortunately my balance, my body won't allow that. So unfortunately I can't get down to these rock marks, which I would actually love to do, but you know, that's just the way it goes. So that's why I keep it easy. I fish off a beach, I fish off a pier, I fish off a, you know, off a pier, off a wall, anything like that. Anything that's close, that I can, you know, fish off. And as you've seen in my videos, I can cast, but I don't, I can't like whack it like any of you pros or anything like that. But but you know, it just shows that I'm just trying to show that if you have something like mine, or have an illness like mine, or any like sort of, you know, thing, any sort of yeah, illness, it doesn't stop you from doing fishing. It's not a hard thing. It's enjoyable. It's good for your mental health, trust me. And from someone who's suffered with depression in the past, it's really good for your mental health. Being by the sea air, just being there, just calm by yourself, or rod out, in my eyes, there's nothing better. Like, honestly, I would take fishing on a beach over a night out, or even going on holiday any day. I just would. That's just my opinion. But I'm just as my channel is called, obviously, Disabled Angler, and I just thought I'd make this video just because it can come across the wrong way sometimes with, like, and it's understandable that people might think that, oh, why are you calling yourself Disabled Angler and stuff like that. Well, I haven't had any of those comments, but I know it can come across that way sometimes. But I'm just trying to put it out there that with anyone with a disability or illness, if you want to go fishing, you go fishing. You can do it. There's nothing stopping you. Don't let anybody tell you can't fish. Don't let anybody tell you can't do anything in life, because, well, doctor said that I never walk. Look what happened, you know? So, don't let anything get you down. Don't let anyone tell you can't do anything, you know? Like, I never thought I'd be able to play football or anything like that, you know what I mean? I played football for a while when I was younger, in a disability team, you know, but unfortunately I can't do that anymore because it just took it so much out of me. That's why I just fish a lot now. It's just easy, it's relaxing, and it's just a really, really nice thing to do. And if there's anybody, obviously, anybody that wants to, you know, wants to know more, or wants any tips, that if you have a disability, or even if you don't have a disability and you want me to talk about anything, or you want to know about fishing, or know, you know, places to go, anything like that, then just, you know, you can always message me on Facebook. I will most of the time I will reply to everyone. But yeah, I just thought I'd make this video, just give you a little insight on my life, and why, how like, just a little shortcut of how I'm sorry, I have a really bad stutter when I'm trying to talk, if you noticed in some of my other videos, but yeah, I just thought I'd just put it out there, just to, you know, give courage to anybody that has a disability, or anybody who wants to start fishing, that you can do this. And don't let anything, you know, stop you. So, like I said, anyone wants to know anything, just message me, and I will try my best to get back to you guys. But thank you guys so much for listening. I know this is not a fishing video, but it's a little something that, you know, a little bit different. So, but there will be another fishing video out very soon, guys. Very soon. But thank you for listening, guys. And keep safe out there. And peace.